people, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about the best and worst products that I purchased in Sephora in 2023. In this video, I'm only including the products that made it to the top tier for me, products that apply, perform, and do not require any specific techniques or special skills. First, I will talk about the best products that I love the most, and then I will go to the ones that didn't make a cut. In my videos, the timestamps are always underneath this video for you to navigate through. Here, before we get started, I would love to welcome new visitors and subscribers to my channel. Hello, my name is Eve and I love all things beauty. Here on my channel, I share about beauty and lifestyle. I upload new videos every week. If that sounds interesting to you, I hope you enjoyed this video and consider subscribing to my channel. And now, without further ado, let's dive in. So we're going to start from concealer category. And the first one that I wanted to mention is the Best Skin Ever concealer from Sephora collection. I picked up mine in the shade 11.5p. I purchased this concealer when I was traveling earlier the year, and I ended up using this concealer on my trip, not only as a concealer, but also as my foundation. This has a beautiful coverage. It also is a long-lasting formula. It worked, like I mentioned earlier, both as a concealer and a foundation. This shade is my really good match for my pale complexion. I feel like it's an overall very great concealer that gives you coverage. It's not too heavy. It doesn't settle into lines. It is long wearing. It's not scented. Everything is perfect about this concealer. You do have a really nice large doe foot applicator and very comfortable packaging. So this was definitely a winner. The next favorite was definitely this Haus Labs concealer. I picked up mine in the shade 12 Light Rosy, and this is a nice shade for me. Not too bright and not too natural. This concealer has more of your medium coverage. It does have a somewhat hydrating formula when you apply it on the face. However, it's not too emollient. I do still set it with a powder, but it doesn't require a lot of setting, a lot of powder. So this concealer has been really a wonderful addition to my collection. So the next concealer that I want to do an honorable mention, simply because it is available at Sephora and at Ulta. However, I didn't necessarily purchase my product from Sephora. I did purchase it from Natasha Denona website. The reason why I wanted to include it here is because obviously this is one of the best high quality products that I discovered and tried this year. This is a high glam concealer from Natasha Denona. I picked up mine in the shade N3. This is not a brightening shade by all means for me. I could definitely go a little bit brighter for the brightening effect. This shade N3 is more of my true natural complexion. I do have a 15% discount code that you can use on Natasha Denona's website, and you are more than welcome to do that. It's always linked for you in the description box in all of my videos. This concealer was definitely the best one that I've tried this year. This would give you coverage. Also, it does not feel heavy. It does have the very nice hydration and slight emollients to it, but not too much. It's not too slippery and slidey on your face. It also is very easily blendable. However, when you blend it, it doesn't blend away. The coverage stays. So you do not need a lot of product when you're using this. So the best part about this concealer is that it does give you a little bit of hydration and it does give you that beautiful coverage, but it also gives you the effect of a filter under your eyes, which I think it's a very unique feature that this product has that other products do not. So the next complexion product that I enjoyed this year from Sephora is actually from Sephora collection. This is their new powder foundation that they launched this year. This is called Matte Powder Foundation, and I got mine in the shade 15N. This is a very lovely formula that gives you a very comfortable coverage. So I'm a combination oily skin. I do have more visible pores on my T-zone. I also do have more redness on my cheek area. When it comes to powder foundations, I do not want them to be too powdery. I also want them to be a little bit smoothing and also give me a really nice coverage. And of course, it has to be long lasting. This powder foundation formula does hit all the check marks on the list for me. It does give me coverage. It's not powdery. It gives me beautiful complexion. It's considerably smoothing. It's long lasting. You do not need too many layers of this. So I think the application is considerably quick and efficient. It is called a matte powder foundation. However, I find it to be very comfortable, like soft matte, almost like a natural feel. I do not find it too matte on skin. And with my combination oily skin, I do notice as my oils come through, I do get a little bit glowy with this formula. So it's not that super matte formula that also controls your oils. So for my skin type, I usually use something on my T-zone that does control my oils a little bit. So the next complexion product that I wanted to mention is this setting spray from LYS Beauty. It's called Natural Finish Skin Loyalty Blur Plus Mattify Plus Set Makeup Setting Spray. Cute packaging, very much on brand for LYS in a triangular shape. I think that it definitely locks my makeup and it prolongs the wear of my makeup. And I live in hot and humid Florida. I do enjoy the effect from this because it does make a difference. I know that setting sprays have not really been a very popular item in the past few years because the makeup trends also evolved from 2016, 2017, when setting sprays were very, very popular and a lot of people would have a wide range or larger collections of setting sprays. However, these days, setting sprays as a makeup category is not super popular. However, for combination oily skin person, I think this is more of an essential item because of the skin type. I definitely wanted to try this because the statements very, very much appeal to me. And I think this is a really good quality setting spray. LYS Beauty is also more of the affordable brand in Sephora. It definitely prolongs the wearability of my makeup. It sets everything in place. But I also noticed that it does have more of a natural, maybe soft matte finish on my skin. The next product that I wanted to mention is from GXVE Beauty. This is Pick It Up Cream Contour and Powder Bronzer Duo. Mine is in the shade Heating Up. And I really love this shade specifically for my palest self, especially now that we're in winter. It does look very natural on skin. At first I thought that this shade is not gonna show up on my fair complexion, but once you apply these two products together, they work very well together. This shade of a cream product is a borderline between contour and bronzer. So it's not too warm, but it's not too cool tone and ashy. It's very flattering on skin, especially on my fair complexion. As a side note, today I'm self-tan, so this is not my fair complexion by all means, but this is one of the products that works perfectly into my fairest skin. The next bronzer that I very much enjoyed is from Pat McGrath. It's called Skin Fetish Divine Bronzer, and I got mine in shade Naked Desire. I find this bronzer very unique to my collection, not because of the formulation, even though the formula is very nice, it's thin. There is practically no fallout. There's just a little dust particles, but primarily it's pretty firmly pressed and it's nice buildable formula. You can go light-handed or you can just build up the intensity. It doesn't look patchy, it doesn't look weird on skin. However, what is extra special about this bronzer for me personally is the undertone of this specific shade. It gives me slightly bit of a peachy undertone and is just so flattering on my pale complexion. So the next product that I want to talk about is this GXVE Beauty highlighter. So this is called Check My Glow Multidimensional Illuminating Highlighter. I got mine in the shade Platinum Cowgirl. This is the lightest shade in the range and I really love what this highlighter offers. As you can see, this is made in combination of tiles of different shades. So there's a gold and there's a pink and there's one that's more champagne. So when you swirl your brush and mix all these colors together, it comes up on your skin as a very universal shade. For that specific reason, because it's such a universal shade for me, no matter what type of makeup I would do that day, if it's a cool tone, it's a warm tone, it's whatever I decide to do that day, this highlighter shade works. It also does have a very smooth formula. However, it's also not blinding. I know blinding highlighters are not it anymore. They used to be, even though I still love my brighter formulas of highlighters. This one is more of your subtle formula. You can definitely build it up a little bit. However, it's still more on the subtle side. So this next product is another product from Sephora collection. This is their face palette. This comes in two different shade variations and mine is in the option Enchant. This product has two blushes, a highlighter and a bronzer. This shade of a highlighter is a little bit more towards gold tone and it is more of your brighter formula, and the two blushes are very beautiful. This one is more of your soft matte blush and this one is a topper. However, it also works on its own very beautifully. All these formulas perform beautifully. The shades are beautiful. They work obviously together very lovely. This is pretty compact product also. Also, it's a Sephora collection, so it's a little bit more affordable. Another absolute favorite product, which technically, again, did not come from Sephora for me because I purchased it directly from the brand's website. This is a Jellyfish Hourglass face palette. I absolutely love this design because it reminds me of my hometown, but also this is my very first powder complexion product from Hourglass. This is an annual launch from the brand. I was always very tempted to try this. However, it is a very pricey product, and this year I decided to pull the trigger and try the formulas. I was not disappointed. I know it was pretty hefty price tag, however, it was so well worth it. The formula is very luxurious, it's very high quality, it looks absolutely stunning and luxury on the skin. Your makeup just comes together so beautiful and glamorous. The formulas are quite pigmented, which I personally did not expect. However, they're also quite thin. It's also pigmented enough and buildable, so you can definitely make your blushes look more vibrant. You can definitely build up the highlighting formula. Highlighting formula gives you the most beautiful glossy skin if that's your aesthetics. It is personally my aesthetics, and I've been using this highlighter left and right since the day I got this palette. Even though this palette specifically has 2 different finishing powders, which is technically not ideal formulation for my complexion, for my combination oily skin. However, there's still a time and place when I do want to reach for them. So these 2 products are just not ideal personally for my complexion, for my preferences, but the rest of the 4 products are well worth it, and I've been reaching for this palette quite a bit. And now let's get into the category of blushes. I think this was definitely a year of a blush, at least for me. If I think of all the categories of makeup this year that I added the most or I've tried the most this year, was definitely blushes. Most of them you will see that came from Sephora. The first one that I wanted to mention is the one from GXVE. This is a duo. This is called Feeling Cheeky Amplifying Blush Duo, and I got mine in the shade Flirty Talk. This launch of the blushes had very beautiful shades. I've only picked up one, but I definitely am very much tempted to pick up a few more shades. And the formula did not disappoint. It was very beautiful. It was very long lasting, and this shade, it was just so perfect for summer. I just have to mention one thing, which I'm pretty sure you may already know, that all the 3 products, all the face products that they launched in this collection have a scent of a baby powder, which was not necessarily the best choice that they made, and a lot of people were turned off by that. One best practice that I would want to share with you, because I am the person who is sensitive to scents in the cosmetic products, so whenever I apply any of these face products from GXVE, I hold the compact, I pick up the product with the brushes away from my face. I hold them further away so it doesn't get into my eyes or nose. So another blush that I was very much loving is this one from Danessa Myra. This is called Yummy Skin, and I got mine in the shade Bellini. I absolutely love every single thing about this product. The shades that they launched were also so beautiful. I'm definitely tempted to purchase more shades from this launch. Besides that the color is beautiful, it also is self-setting on skin, and I noticed somewhat of a smoothing effect on my cheek. It is a very long-lasting formula on me. Like I said, besides that, I absolutely love the shade. I think that the formula is very, very high quality. The next blush that I've been really loving is from Sephora collection. This line of blushes existed before in Sephora. However, this was a new shade that was added this year, and this is called Sweet on You. This is a colorful blush in the shade 05, Sweet on You. This blush swatches just okay, but on the face it's definitely a little bit more pigmented when you apply it with a brush. This is a shade that is a little bit more like coral, but leaning more pink, and it does have a little bit of a satin effect. It's just such a stunning formula. The next blush that joined my collection this year is this Cloud Crush from Too Faced, and I purchased mine in the shade Tequila Sunset. Pretty packaging with this little heart closure here. This shade is quite pretty, and I think it was perfect for like spring and summer. This formula is quite pigmented, and I do apply it with the fluffiest blush brush that I have in my collection, and I just go light-handed with multiple layers, build up the intensity up to the intensity that I like. This is quite long wearing formula. It does not fade throughout the day. This also has a blurring, smoothing effect. So if you have more texture on your cheek area, then I think you may very much enjoy this formula. So the next blush that I've really been loving is actually from Charlotte Tilbury. I do have 2 blushes from Charlotte Tilbury to talk about. I've recently picked up a bunch of products from Charlotte Tilbury, her best sellers, let's say, and I did a dedicated video trying and demoing every single one of those products, sharing all my thoughts. And some of these products also made it into my November favorites and fails. I will have both of these videos linked for you in the description box if you wanted to look further into it, because I will give you just the main highlights about these 2 products. First product that I wanted to mention, because I really enjoyed, I think it's definitely worth the hype. This is a powder blush. It's called Cheek to Chic, and I got mine in the shade Ecstasy. So it looks very pale in a pan. It also swatches very pale. You can honestly barely see the swatch right here, but it actually has more pigment once you start applying it on your face than you would ever think. This also has 2 circles. One is a little bit more glowy than the other. So once you swirl your brush and kind of mix all those 2 finishes together, it looks very beautiful on skin. It gives you that very subtle, very consistent, subtle glow from within. It's such a beautiful formula. And I'm not even too much of a glowy blush type of person. I prefer matte blushes with a little bit of highlighter, but this looked very beautiful on skin. I was pleasantly surprised and impressed how beautiful this looked on my complexion. This formula wears beautifully on my skin, and the glowiness does not go away. So another Charlotte Tilbury favorite blush is this matte formula in her Pillow Talk Matte Beauty Blush Wand. This is the squeezy packaging with a little poof. I understand now why the Pillow Talk is such a huge thing for Charlotte Tilbury. This shade is truly very beautiful, very flattering. I understand why it is so hyped and so popular. I definitely think that it's worth the hype. This is my humble opinion. But the formula of this, even though it is more of like your liquid formula rather than the cream formula, it is, however, not super liquid. It is more of a thicker formulation. Also a formula that is very easy to control. I am usually not a huge fan of liquid blushes, but this is a very easy formula to work with. Now let's get into some of my eyebrow products that I wanted to share with you. So the first one I wanted to mention, and this is something that I've been using pretty consistently for the second part of the year, and this is the Lawless Hold Up Soft Set Creamy Brow Wax, and I got mine in a shade light to medium. This is a squeezy tube. It has a very nice, sturdy and small brush. It's very easy to apply the product on your brows. This is the product that I use today to do my eyebrows as well. This gives you a really nice hold, more stronger hold than anything else. However, it also gives you an effect of laminated brows. I think the description for this brow product is the best. It's to the point that it's a creamy wax, so it definitely feels like wax. However, it also has this creaminess. It is slightly tinted when you look at it on the brush. However, it doesn't give you tint once you apply it, if you were afraid of that aspect of this product. This is my best guess, but I think the reason why this product is tinted a little bit is that to neutralize that white waxy effect on your brows once the product settles in, because wax can do that to you. And this, however, doesn't. So once you apply it to your eyebrows, it definitely gives you this beautiful hold and no pigment. So don't worry about that. And my brows stay put the entire day. I even like to apply it on a no makeup day. I would still wear this because I can just put my eyebrows in the position that I want them to be. And that's how they stay the entire time. I don't have to worry about them. This is also a formula that I would apply as a first step of my brow routine, and then I would go with my brow ink pen and go on top of it. And let me tell you, that product, the brow ink pen, does not slip. A lot of products that I've tried of this kind, like of waxy formulas that I've tried in the past, they would create this very slippery surface that if you try to apply something on top of it, like a pencil or a brow ink pen, they would slip and the ink would not stay and would not stick to it. This one somehow works with other products that I use after that as a second and third step. So this has definitely been a favorite. So the next product that I wanted to mention, also an eyebrow product, but different from the Lawless one that I just talked about. This is from Sephora collection. This is their tinted tint and volume brow gel, and I got mine in the shade 04. This one has also a very nice, sturdy, small brush applicator, but this also gives you a beautiful hold. However, it is quite pigmented. You get a lot of pigment. So if you're like me, if you like to fill in your brows with color because you naturally do not have that full volume and you need to create the full body of your brow, this is your guy. It also has a beautiful strong hold. So now let's get into the lip products, and I'm only going to be mentioning the best of the best, something that if I discovered it recently, I was wowed by it and I can't stop using it, or something that I discovered earlier in the year and I also could not stop using it. First product, or products I should say, I will talk about them as a duo. And these are two products from Pat McGrath. They're both in the shade Nude Venus. This is one of the more popular shades from Pat McGrath. And I'll tell you, I definitely got hooked on this shade. I definitely now want a blush. I think I'm going to be picking up a blush for my birthday in this shade because this is so stunning. The formula of the lip pencil is so beautiful and gel-like. Just glides on your skin while giving you the pigment. I really have been loving the formula and the shade so much. And I also very much enjoyed the lip gloss formula, also in the shade Nude Venus. The lip gloss gives you a very beautiful glossy effect, also gives you a wonderful pigment. You can easily wear it on its own or as a topper to any different lipsticks that you like to wear. I fell in love with these two products the first time I applied it on my lips. So the next product that I wanted to mention in the lip category is the lip liner from Rare Beauty. I got mine in the shade Talented, and this is fabulous shade. I really love the packaging on this lip liner. This does have a little sharpener if you needed it, but I've never used it so far, and it is a retractable lip liner. I'll show you how much I have left. This is all I have left, you guys. This little teeny tiny thing is left, and I definitely see myself repurchasing this lip liner in the future. I really love the formula. I really love how it is very nice and creamy. It does glide with ease on your lips, and you can also fill in your lips very easily with this pencil because it's a little bit more on a thicker side. The pencil itself is a little bit on the thicker side, so it gives you the very easy application if you like to fill in your lips. I do this very often, especially if you're on the go. So you just retouch your lips. I really love using my lip pencils as my lipsticks because they also last a very long time on your lips, sometimes even better than lipsticks do. Also, this shade is a universal shade for my complexion. I don't think it will apply to everybody, but if you are close to my complexion, keep this on your radar. This lip liner basically moved into my purse right away when I purchased it because it doesn't matter what I have on my lips, this lip liner goes with everything. I can just touch up very quickly if I have to, and I'm good to continue with my day. Such an excellent formula, definitely a standout product this year. Now let me share some unfortunate products that did not work out for me. Some of them could be for a reason of my preferences, of my makeup application aesthetics, and how I do my routines, as some of them I thought they were just poor quality. Since I've already decluttered my entire makeup collection for this year, and most of these products I no longer have in my collection because I did not enjoy them, so I will be popping the pictures of those products here on the screen for you. So the first one was the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Matte Bronzer, and I got mine in the shade Fair, and I went for the lightest shade because in winter I do not tan so often and I'm quite a pale person, so I went with a lighter shade, and I am generally the lightest bronzer in the shade in most of the brands. I rarely go to the second shade, just as a side note. So I chose the shade that was the lightest one. The packaging for that bronzer is absolutely stunning and luxury. The pan is also refillable, so if you do happen to like that bronzer, it's nice to repurchase the refill after all. The first thing that I did not enjoy about that product, it was very, very powdery. And then the main thing that was not enjoyable was the shade. It, to me personally, was a shade of a powder. It would not show up whatsoever on my skin. I did consider purchasing a different shade, like a second shade over, but it also had quite warm undertone in it, and now that we're in winter and this is a luxury product, I wanted to start using it right away, and I knew if I would go with a deeper shade, I will not use it until I start tanning, until like summer or spring. And considering the fact that it is a very, very expensive bronzer, it was like $58, I just decided to just completely pass on it. It was not for me. So the second unfortunate product that did not work out for me and also went back was a Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contouring Wand. And what I didn't love about this product is that it had a very heavy serum-y feel to it. It was very hydrating on skin, even though the application on my cheeks was pretty nice and seamless. But when it came to my forehead, I do not have any dry patches on my skin. And for some reason, that bronzing contouring wand was patching out on my forehead terribly. It just looked terrible. Obviously, I do have a pretty large forehead. I cannot afford mistakes on my forehead because this is literally the biggest feature of my face. I pay a very, very close nitty-gritty attention to the smallest details when I apply my complexion products on my forehead, how I blend them into my hairline. I need products, I need all my complexion products, not just bronzers, to be working together in an absolute seamless blend. Besides that, this contouring wand was very patchy on my forehead specifically. Also, the undertone was pulling very red, and I said, I can work with a warmer undertone because I can bronze myself, I can self-tan myself, but I can't do the red undertone because it's completely off of what I am. The next product that didn't work out for me was this mascara from Sephora collection. This is called Big Volume Extreme Lash Mascara. It's still in my collection. I think it's still kind of workable. I'll still use it. So the reviews that I saw for this product were like, oh my God, this is the best volumizer mascara, especially for the price, etc., etc. This has a decent wand. It's kind of like the figure 8 shape, but not too exaggerated. It's supposed to be volumizing, and I like to apply my volumizing mascaras in several layers to give me a true volume. And this mascara takes a long time to apply. Some volumizing mascaras would start a little bit on a watery side when they're brand new, but then a few weeks passes and then the formula thickens up and then it's comfortable to build up that volume right away without trying too hard. This mascara does not thicken up. I've had this over a month now, and This is still super watery. It takes forever to build up the volume, and even when you build up that volume, it just clumps up your lashes the way that they're not pretty. I don't mind a little bit of clumpiness on my lashes, that's fine. If you apply this mascara in just one single layer, and I think this is how I'm gonna kind of get use out of it so I don't completely waste it, that I'm gonna just use it in one single layer when it doesn't give me too much volume, just something, you know, to accentuate your lashes. But as a volumizer mascara, it was a complete fail. Another product that was unfortunately a fail, that I did not enjoy the formula. I thought it was just such an outdated formulation. This was a Sephora collection Golden Hour highlighter. The shade was Daybreak. This whole entire time I thought it was called Golden Hour. This highlighter was split in two different pans, and one side was a little bit glowier and one side was supposed to be a little bit more like of your natural, more subtle highlighter. And the glowier one, I think it was somewhat okay, but it was still quite powdery. But the subtle formula was just so powdery and just looked very dusty on skin. Both of the sides I did not really enjoy because I thought it was just very outdated. I felt like I went to like 15 years back and I went to one of the pharmacies and picked up one of those like cheapy drugstore brands. It felt like a massive throwback of a quality that we haven't seen in a long time. I am a big time highlighter person, as you may know if you're not new here, but this was a very, very disappointing formula for me. So that product was DECLUTTER. The last but not least product in today's video is going to be probably the biggest disappointment of the year. The most disappointing product that I've tried. Maybe the fact that it was also quite expensive. I may be in the minority with not liking and enjoying that product. I did end up decluttering this also out of my collection because I just could not see myself ever using it on my face. So this was the Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow foundation. I had mine in a shade 3 and it was pretty good match for my fairest complexion. I did specifically want to go with a lighter shade so I could use it, you know, for majority of the year when I'm not tanning. Had really beautiful coverage and a little would go a long way. So if you do like the foundation, it would last you for a very long time because you would only need a smaller amount of it. So one thing, however, that I couldn't pass on, and this was a very big thing that I just couldn't pass on in comparison to the benefits that that foundation carried, is that this foundation had shimmer particles in them. They were not chunky glitters, but they were like consisting shimmer particles. It's just overall a shimmery formula that it just gives you this glow no matter what angle you turn. Like, I will only be speaking for myself. I know, like I said, I may be in the minority with this preference because I've heard so many people liking this formula, but I think the main reason for me not liking this product is because I am a combo oily skin and I have more visible pores on my T-zone. I just, whenever I would wear this foundation, anytime I turn, it would just bring so much reflect to the center of my face. And I tried different mattifying primers, I tried mattifying powders, all those 9 yards just to make that foundation work because I really tried. The reason why I didn't return that product is because I was really trying to make it work. However, I just, at the end, I gave up. Unfortunately, this was just not a formula for me. Guys, these are all my best and worst of Sephora that I've purchased this year in 2023. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this video, give this a big thumb up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in my next video.